Hi, my first grade friends. Welcome to computer class this week. It is the week of January 19th, and we are going to do some more writing on the computer, and you're going to learn about some special keys on the keyboard today. So let me share my screen with you. The first thing we're going to talk about, boys and girls, is when you go into your classroom teacher's Google Classroom, that's where you will find your specials. So I'm just using Miss D's class as an example, but you would go to your classroom teacher's Google Classroom. When you get there, you go to classwork. And on the left side, it says all topics. And you just kind of go down until you find the one that you're looking for. This is computer class. I have a little icon, a little picture of a computer, so you know to click that. Right here, boys and girls, you're going to see a blue circle with a little clipboard inside of it. And that means there's an assignment there. So this one is gray because it hasn't been posted yet, but once it's posted, it will turn blue. So there's the date, January 19. The name or the title of the lesson today is Make a Flake, and it is a writing lesson, and it's our third writing lesson because we wrote about a treehouse, we wrote about a snowman, and this week we're going to write about a snowflake. And these are the directions. This week, we'll be doing some work on our writing and typing skills. You will learn about special keys on the keyboard and practice using them to write about a snowflake you will make on the computer. Enjoy. A couple of other things to notice, boys and girls, is right here. It tells you the date and the time that the lesson is kind of released. And over here, it says due January 26th. So every lesson starting this week is going to be up for 1 week. So it's really important that you try to do your special on your particular day. So I have Miss D's class on Tuesday. So if you're in that class, it's important on Tuesdays to go to computer class and try to get your assignment done. And you have 1 week to complete it. Many times, boys and girls, I'll ask you during the lesson to turn it in. And so this week I have included a video that we'll watch at the end of this. So you can just get a little reminder on how to turn it in. All right, so I'm going to click this orange box right here so we can check out the lesson. So on slide number 1, boys and girls, this is where you will always find the video that you're watching right now. So you start with slide number 1 in the slide deck. This is called a slide deck. It's like a deck of cards. So card number 1 is your video. You can either click the words or you can click the picture. Either one will take you to what you're watching right now. Slide number 2, boys and girls, has an activity on it for you. And what you're going to do is you're going to take these 4 shapes and you're going to try to drag them onto this keyboard where you think they belong. And these 4 keys are going to be very important when we start to write our story a little later on in the lesson. The first shape that you see is this long black rectangle. I bet you can guess what that is supposed to be. A space bar. And the space bar, boys and girls, is at the bottom of your keyboard. It's probably black. What I'd like you to do is click on it. When you do that, you'll see a little blue box with little squares kind of go around it. And then you're just going to drag it onto the space bar like that. The space bar, remember, boys and girls, is tapped in between your words. So a little later on in the lesson, when you're typing up your sentences about your snowflake, every time you type a word, you want to tap the space bar. And we try to use our thumbs, boys and girls, for that. So if you want to start practicing that, you can, but it's important to make sure you just put 1 tap with the space bar between each word. The other important key, boys and girls, is when you start a sentence. And just like when you're writing a sentence with a pencil, when you start a sentence, you have to make sure you put an uppercase letter. There are 2 buttons on the keyboard to help you with this, and they're both called Shift. One is on the left side, one is on the right side. It does not matter which one you use today, but we're going to take our little red ovals and we're going to drag them onto the Shift key and kind of cover it up with the red circles, the red ovals. Remember, hold the Shift key and tap the letter you want to make uppercase with your other hand. So you don't just tap it like the space bar, you actually have to hold it down. The last shape is this little green triangle, boys and girls, and that one is going to point or be put on the period, which is an ending mark. And it's right there, kind of underneath the L key. If you look on your keyboard under the L key, you'll see a little dot on one of the keys. That is your punctuation mark or your period at the end of the sentence. So I would like you to make sure on slide number 2 that you drag these shapes onto your keyboard just like I have. So the black bar goes on the space bar, and the red circles go on the shift keys, and the green triangle on the punctuation period right under the L key. Okay, so now that you've learned a little bit about some special keys on the keyboard, we're going to practice the keyboard with a little typing rocket, and that is on slide number 3. So you're going to click on the picture and click the link. And this week, I only want you to do 1 round. Last week we did 2 rounds for 6 minutes, 1 round for 3 minutes this week. So when you click into typing rocket, it may ask you to log in, boys and girls, and I have included the login information on the slide if you need it. It's right here with the email and the password. But again, if you've done it once already, you probably don't have to do it again. I'm going to press play. I'm going to get my hands ready because remember, this is a 2-handed activity. When you hit play, the rockets will start coming from the bottom. You're going to get the fingers ready. When you see that letter come up, you tap it. That's an I on the right. I just got 1 point up here. My timer will automatically keep track for me, so I don't have to worry about that. You just keep tapping for your 3 minutes using both hands. When you are done with it, boys and girls, you're going to close it at the tippity top of the screen. You will see an X way up here, and it will take you back to your slide deck. We are all done with slide number 3. I'm going to now scroll to number 4. Number 4 says, click on the snowflake link to begin. It's called Make a Flake. I'm going to click it. There's my link underneath. So remember, click the picture and then look for those letters underneath. Look at your mouse arrow. Remember, that's called a cursor. That moves from here to when I put it on the blue letters. There's your link. Okay? So this is a fun activity, boys and girls. You can obviously make paper snowflakes, or you can go outside on a snowy day and try to catch a real snowflake. But this activity, you get to create it on the computer. So that makes it kind of fun. And in this activity, just like you would do a paper snowflake, you're going to use your mouse instead of scissors to cut the triangle piece of paper. And the more cuts that you make with your mouse, the fancier your snowflake will be. Now, boys and girls, for some reason, it's not taking me there. So if that happens to you, I always suggest you just try again. Sometimes it takes a minute for the site to load. And if it doesn't work, oh, here it comes. It's a little slow, I guess. So you might have to do that like I did a couple of times, but hopefully it will work first try for you. All right, so the first thing you get to do is choose a background. So this is the blue, like the sky. You can do green or red, purple, gold, or gray. I kind of like the purple one, so I'm going to pick that one. And then I'm going to get started with making my snowflake. So I move my mouse over here on top of the white triangle. I click it. As soon as I click it, you'll see a green dot come out. Now let your click go. Like, look at my hand. It's not on the mouse anymore. And then move your mouse. You don't have to drag it. You just have to move it to a spot you want it to go. Click again. And just keep doing that, moving and clicking, moving and clicking, and bring it back to the green one, and it will cut out that chunk of snowflake. So if I want to take a look at it, I can hit Make Snowflake down here at the bottom, and it shows me what I have so far. But I want to cut some more. So I just click again. I make a new green dot, move, click, move, click. Just keep moving and clicking, moving, clicking. But don't forget, you have to come back to the green, and it will cut it out. And then hit make a snowflake again, and it will show you the next cut that you did. Now I'm going to come up here and maybe do some snipping. So I'm going to click, Notice I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. But I do have to bring my line back to the green in order for it to snip it out. And in order for me to see my new cut, I have to press make a snowflake. Ooh, look, that's fancy. I'm going to do one more down here, boys and girls. Click, hit your green dot, and then just move. You're not dragging it. You don't have to drag it. You just have to click, and you do have to go back to that green. So think about that when you're cutting. And there's my snowflake. Now, if I don't like this snowflake, or if I start clicking around and I get myself all mixed up and I don't know where I am, you can undo, and it will take away the last thing you did, or you can reset. And then it will ask, do you really want to erase everything and start over? And if you say okay, it gives you a brand new snowflake. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do another one, just so I can have it done. All I'm doing is clicking, make my snowflake, and there it is. I think my first one was prettier, but that's okay. All right, so my snowflake is done. Now, do not close this, boys and girls. I'm going to say that again. Do not close this, because you're going to want to look at it, just like you did with your snowman. I asked you in that lesson to keep that tab open so you could go back and forth to see what your snowflake looks like. Because now you're going to try to write a story about this snowflake that we just created with 3 sentences. So you're going to go back up here to make a flake. We just finished up with, whoops, with this slide. At the bottom it says keep your snowflake tab open so you can go back and look at it for the next slide, which is slide number 5. And this is the important one that you're going to type up your story. So let's think about what we learned earlier in this lesson. We learned, I'm going to go back up here, about the space bar, space between our words. We learned about the shift key and how it makes uppercase letters. And we learned where the period is to put an ending mark at the end of our sentence. Then we practiced a little bit, warming up our fingers. Then we created, that was the fun part. Now we're going to tell about it. And on slide number 6, it says, now type 3 sentences to tell about your snowflake. What does it look like? Don't forget, spaces between your words. Start your sentences with uppercase letters using that shift key. Remember, hold it down and tap the letter you need, and end your sentence with a punctuation. Click in the gray box to start your story. You can start with my snowflake is, and then use some of the describing words on the side to help you. Because boys and girls, you don't want to be asking your grown-up, how do you spell? How do you spell? How do you spell? That's not fun for anybody. You just sound it out the best way you can, but I have put some important words over here for you that you can use and copy. Words like big and small and pointy and thin, wispy, tiny, magical, awesome, cool, and unique. Unique means one of a kind. So my directions say to click in this gray box, and I get what's called a text box. That's that blue box that you see. And it says to start my snowflake is. So I'm going to practice holding that shift key, keeping it pressed down, and tapping my M, then letting it go. And there's my Y, and now I need a space. Now I'm going to copy the word snowflake. I don't have to ask anybody because I see it right here. Then I need a space is. Now I'm going to go back and look at it. I'm going to say that it is tiny. I'm going to use one of my words over here. Uh-oh, do you see what I see? I forgot to make my space. So there's a few ways that you can fix this, boys and girls, but I think one easy way is to use your arrow keys. Because look, when you use your arrow keys, it doesn't erase like your backspace button will. It just moves the cursor, little blinky, through the letters. So there's my first sentence. My snowflake is tiny, and I'm going to say, and cool. And now I'm going to put my period at the end of my sentence. And now I need another space, boys and girls. You have to spread out those sentences. Don't squish them together. And now I need a second sentence. So let me look back at my snowflake. It seems to have some triangles in it and some points on it. So I think I will say it has some shapes inside of it. There goes my ending mark. And if you do make a mistake, boys and girls, your backspace button, which is in the top right corner, will erase it for you. So my snowflake is tiny and cool, sentence 1. It has some shapes inside of it, sentence 2. Let me look back again to get my third sentence. Oh, I know. I'm going to say it has a purple background. I'm not sure if I spelled purple right, but look, I can find the color or see the color purple right here. I thought it had it listed, but it doesn't. So maybe I'll add those words, boys and girls. I'll add some color words in here for you. But purple is P-U-R-P-L-E. Mrs. Sullivan will add those words on the side here, so you'll have some color words too. So that's my third sentence. I'm going to add a closing sentence and say, I hope you like my snowflake. There we go. My story is complete. So now, boys and girls, is the turn-in part. So we're going to go to slide number 6, and we're going to watch this video together. But you certainly can watch it again, re-watch it as many times as you need to try to learn how to do this turn-in part. So let me start the video. I'm just going to press the play button. I'm going to make it bigger with this little button. How to turn in your Google Classroom assignment. All right, I'm going to start that again, boys and girls, because I don't think my sound was on. So hello, boys and girls. This is a video lesson on how to turn in your Google Classroom assignments. Many times your specialists will ask you to turn the assignment in, and it's difficult because we have so many students. So if you don't turn it in, we sometimes don't know that you've actually done the assignment. So I'm going to share with you some steps to show you how to do that. So let me share my screen. So the first step, boys and girls, would be to open up the assignment that you're doing. And many times, especially in computer class, your assignments are in Google Slides. So in this first slide, we'll pretend that this is an assignment. You would do the activities that the slide tells you to do. And then to turn it in, you follow these 3 steps. So step 1, which is the red one, says close the assignment with the X. So right up here, boys and girls, at the top of my screen, that's the X that I would click to close the assignment. Step number 2, click View Assignment. You'll see a button that says View Assignment that will look like this. That's step 2. And step number 3, it says Then Turn In, and your box will look like this. And once you've turned it in, your teacher can then look at it, grade it, make comments on it. Anytime you turn an assignment in, boys and girls, especially when you turn it into computer class, I usually write a little comment back to you. And if it's a graded assignment, I'll send the grade back to you. And then if you want to, you can comment back, or you can just read my comment. But that's where you'll see the comments. Okay, so again, 3 steps. Step 1, close it with the X, which is up here. Step 2, you'll see View Assignment. It looks like this. And you'll notice, boys and girls, I can see how many people have turned it in, how many people were assigned to it. And then that was step 2. Step 3, your final step is to press the Turn In button, which looks like this. Okay, boys and girls, so it's easy as 1, 2, 3. So hopefully that will help you to know how to actually turn an assignment in so that your teachers can see it. All right, I hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye. Okay, so boys and girls, that is the lesson for today. I hope that video will help those of you that are having a little bit of trouble trying to turn it in. The more you practice it, boys and girls, the easier it'll get. It's just like anything we do. So I'm anxious to read these stories about your snowflakes. Have fun making your snowflake and writing me up a little story about it. Remember, 3 sentences, and then if you want to put a closer in for number 4, you can. And I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.